What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and today I'm bringing you guys the first round of the PPL. I'm so pumped to be bringing you guys these battles finally. It seems like it's been forever since the team builder, but that's because I bunked up and I scheduled to upload a week before the match was supposed to go up, and I'm an idiot, I know, but people make mistakes. Anyway, going into the battle, you guys know what I need to do. I need to get up rocks first, and looking at his team, he brought exactly what I expected him to bring, to be honest, with the Rose Raid and the Spiritomb as the only two switch outs that I possibly had, but he brought them both, so that's freaking awesome. So the main thing that whenever I saw his team, I was like, I need to know what set Garchomp is, and I need to know what set Rotom is, but most importantly, I need rocks up first, so I do decide to lead with my Mew. As you can see, his team is on the layout. The layout is done by yours truly. I'm very proud of it. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the battle. So as you can see, Carter is going to be issuing the challenge, and I'm going to lead off with my Mew. Now, he's going to lead off with his Garchomp, and that tells me one of four things. And I think the most obvious is that he's the lead rock set. And the fact that he also has Toxic also reveals to me that he's really bulky. So I at first, I went for Stealth Rocks. I didn't go for Toxic. I mean, I don't know why I didn't, but the fact that I didn't was amazing because he's Toxic anyway because of Synchronize, and I have my rocks up. So 2 turns in 1 are gone, and that is absolutely freaking amazing. It makes me so happy. So I'm going to be getting hurt by Toxic. However, Mew is instantly the most expendable member on my team. He did what he had to do. He got up rocks. Garchomp, we know what set it is. Things are going to be taking a whole lot of damage now because of the rocks, and now Garchomp is also taking scald damage. He did get up his own rocks, but rocks don't really hurt me too bad, which is really, really nice. So even though I do have leftovers, Toxic is still going to suck. However, it's going to suck more for him because I'm actually damaging him. So as you can see, Toxic is just doing a little tiny bit of health to me. He's going to withdraw into his Spiritomb. Now, I didn't predict this whatsoever. However, I did go out into my Clefable. I went into Clefable because I figured I could take a hit from Garchomp. I figured I could retaliate a little bit with a Moonblast on it, so I did not predict the Spiritomb switch whatsoever. I was extremely lucky with it, to be 100% honest with you. So, after that, it was... I kind of had a tough decision that I had to make. Either I stay in and I make the obvious play of going for Moonblast to get off damage on something, or I predict the Rotom Heat or the Rose Raid switch in to absorb the Moonblast. So, right here, I do in fact just go for the Moonblast. It's the safe play, it's stab. I need to get off chip damage on something. He does go into the Rotom Heat, take 25%. That is absolutely fantastic for a couple different reasons. Because now that he's whittled down, it means that he's in range of a lot more things. I get the special attack drop. That sucks for me because I'm unaware. I don't realize that he is the -1 special attack. So, unaware is kind of hurting me right now. However, once I switch out, it's all good. I go into Mew because it is, like I said, the most expendable member on my team. As he goes for Trick. He tried to trick my Clefable. I kind of sort of saw that coming, but it was in the back of my mind. I didn't think it would actually happen, but it did. And Mew is now Choice Scarfed. That's amazing for a couple different reasons, because now I outspeed the Rotom, and I just get to fire off a Scald. That is, unless he hard switches out. I'm going to get hurt by Toxic again, so it's not a huge deal, to be honest. I do just fire off a Toxic, and he does not hard switch out. So he gets hurt by this Scald, it almost takes him out, and then he goes for the Volt Switch, and he's dead on re-entry. So that is absolutely fantastic. So, Mew just took a Volt Switch, took it pretty well because I am specially defensive, like we know from the team builder, and he goes into his Rose Raid. Now right here, I kind of have to decide a couple things. I kind of decide if I want to save Mew as a death fodder thing later on, or if I just want to let it go down here. And ultimately, I decided to let it die. A, because I hate Mew, and B, because I just don't really have a need for it anymore. This helps me see what kind of set he is, if he's Life Orb, if he has Black Sludge, what exactly he has. And even for Hidden Power, I assume it's Fire for my Jirachi. However, it's not a big deal. I'm going to go for a Scald right here. As it does nothing, I don't get the burn, and he's actually going to set up a layer of spikes because the toxic damage will in fact take me out. So, while that kind of sucks, it's whatever, it happens. So I do get hurt by the toxic, and Mew is down. So, now that I've lost Mew, I kind of have a free switch into whatever I need. I'm going to go into Crobat because I know I can outspeed it, I can kill it with Brave Bird, or I can just U-turn to gain momentum. He just goes directly out into the Rotom, and of course it does die on re-entry to Stealth Rocks, so that's really nice. The biggest threat to my team just went down to Stealth Rocks, so that's fantastic. It helps me out so much. I did go for the Brave Bird, didn't do anything because obviously Rotom died. So right now, he's going to go back into his Spiritomb, and this, I had a couple different choices I had to make. I needed to decide whether I wanted to U-turn, or whether I wanted to just go for Brave Bird for damage. If he wanted to Will-O-Wisp me here, I wouldn't kill it with Brave Bird, so ultimately, I did decide to go for the U-turn, as he makes the hard switch into Roserade. If I had gone for Brave Bird, it would be dead, but I didn't, so instead, I just have to handle the U-turn damage, and I don't, if I'm not mistaken, I have a little bit of attack investment, but hardly anything, and that still did a decent chunk of damage, so I'm happy with it. But right here, I decided to go into my Jirachi because I know I outspeed it, I know I can kill it, and it's a good day to be had because it's not Choice Scarfed, and I EV'd this thing to outspeed Timid Max Speed. So that's that. I do go for the Ice Punch, and of course it's at just the range of HP to where it does in fact knock out the Roserade. So the Roserade is now down, and I kind of had to make a decision as to what I needed to do. He goes right into Scizor, and I had to be like, okay, wait a second. Is this Scarf Scizor? And I decided to just take the risk. I go for the Fire Punch, 4 times effective, doesn't have the berry, and he goes down to a Fire Punch. He might have thought that I was Scarfed. He might have thought that, I don't know what, I think he probably thought I was Choiced, to be 100% honest with you. But I wasn't. Expert Belt. Fantastic item. Probably one of my favorite items in the entire game, if I'm being completely honest. So right here, I'm going to go for Iron Heads. Not because I want flinches, because I'm trying to sack this thing off. As of now, I don't need it. I don't need to try to speed tie with Gardevoir. I don't need to worry about any of that. Garchomp dies to Moonblast and Ice Beam and things like that. I need a safe switch into my Clefable, so I'm trying so hard to sack this thing off. So I'm going for Iron Heads. Don't want flinches. He goes for Rest. Instantly, this tells me that this is Calm Mind, Rest, Spiritomb. I'm a little scared, but not super scared because of Unaware Clefable. Unaware Clefable was for Crawdaunt. Turns out it's being used for something completely different, and that is fantastic. I'm just going to keep going for Iron Heads, and he just gets flinched. So this is about I think it's 7 turns of me just getting flinches while he goes for Rest. So, kind of sucks, but okay, people are going to say that these flinches mattered. They don't matter whatsoever. I'm trying to sack this thing off. He's not losing any health, really, in the long run because he's just going to keep resting up. So this is just a bunch of unnecessary hacks that I don't want. And like the one, if I got a flinch right there when he went for Rest, I could definitely say that, yeah, that flinch mattered. But I didn't. Every single time that he goes for Rest, I don't get a flinch. So it's so funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time, to be honest with you. Get a flinch again. It's so weird. I love Jirachi so much, but oh my god. It's probably my favorite. That and Clefable are my 2 favorite members of my team. I'm starting to love Clefable. So, like I said, just going to keep going for these stupid Iron Heads. And he's going to get a Sleep Talk off right here instead of me flinching for once. And he's going to get a Calm Mind. Now, this kind of worries me, but it kind of doesn't worry me. It worries me mainly because that just shows me that I need to be more careful and I can't go into Goodra to kill it now, because now that it's at +1 special defense, a Draco Meteor does not kill it from I think it does 78% maximum, so kind of sucks. Go for an Iron Head right here. He flinches right when he wakes up. So I was like, okay, he's not going to die from this Iron Head. If I could get a flinch, that would be a huge threat down, and I don't have to worry about Clefable doing it. Go for Iron Head, and I was actually kind of worried that I would get a flinch, but I don't, and he goes for Rest. So, all of this bullshittery for nothing. It's so funny. The one time that you don't want Jirachi to hack somebody because you want it to just die, it doesn't. But I finally decided to just switch out, and I go into my Unaware Clefable. Now, I don't know if you realized before, but I do take Stealth Rock damage, take Spikes damage. It's like, okay, Unaware Clefable, I'm not going to take a whole lot of damage from this Shadow Ball, to be 100% honest with you. He's going to go for Sleep Talk, and he's going to get a Shadow Ball. Now, Shadow Ball is going to be kind of a pain, but not too much of a pain to where I can't take multiple of them because of Unaware. So, pardon me. I had to decide right here if I wanted to just try to Moonlight up and get health back, or if I wanted to go for a Moonblast. Ultimately, I was like, okay, I just need to get this thing out of my face. I need to go for Moonblast. He goes into Garchomp. Fantastic. You can catch this Moonblast and get knocked out. So, that just means that Clefable just knocked out a Garchomp with a Moonblast. That's insane to me. I love Clefable so much. So, that in and of itself is another huge threat down, and now I can take care. Gardevoir is kind of a threat, but I have so many answers for it. Like, my Crobat outspeeds it. Jirachi can live a Hyper Voice. No, it can't after Stealth Rocks and Spikes. I'm stupid. Ignore that completely. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to switch out, and I'm actually going to sack off my Jirachi. Because I thought I could take one, but then I forgot that he had Stealth Rocks and Spikes. If I hadn't done this, I could have potentially preserved a higher win if I win, but I wasn't too worried about preserving higher differentials. While I know it's extremely important, I'm not that kind of person. I prefer just to win in general and have fun. But he's only for hidden power right here, and it is going to be super effective, and that kind of shows me that he is hidden power fire. So he predicted that very, very nicely, and my Jirachi goes down, which is really depressing that it died the first battle. I really wanted it to stay alive the whole time, but it's whatever. I'm going to go into my Milotic right here because I am especially defensive. I can take, I think it's 2 Hyper Voices. It's going to go for Taunt. I think that was a massive mistake on his part because this just gives me a free opportunity to Scald. I didn't plan on recovering. I don't need to Toxic it. I just need to fire off and get Scalds. I get the Burn, which is huge because this instantly puts it in Brave Bird range. After this Burn, Brave Bird kills it, and it's fantastic. But it's whatever. I get the burn damage. He's below half. I mean, yeah, that really did suck, and it kind of matters, but he's going to go for the Hyper Voice, and it... Honestly, for a Gardevoir Hyper Voice, didn't do a whole lot, to be 100% honest with you. Like, whenever you think about how much it OHKOs, didn't do anything to this Milotic. I love Milotic so much. Oh my gosh. So, he's going to be going down to the burn this next turn, and I kind of had to decide whether I want to just go for the Scald or if I wanted to be a massive douche and go for Recover. I just go for Scald because right now I just win with Clefable. That's all I need is a free switch into Clefable, and I win. Gardevoir goes down. That's fantastic. I just need a free switch into Clefable. If I had gone for a Recover, then this would be a much longer battle than it needed to be. 100% much longer. So, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to hope and pray that he gets 2 Sleep Talk Shadow Balls in a row, or I Calm Mind into Shadow Ball. I'm going to go for a Scald. It's going to do a decent chunk of damage, to be honest with you. That, like, I mean, Milotic is so good. Oh my god. I love Clefable plus Milotic. I wanted to make this thing shiny for the battle, but it's whatever, I forgot. He does get the first Shadow Ball. It's fantastic for me because I live on 1 HP. God damn it. 1 HP. It's not that big of a deal, but it just makes the battle a lot longer than what it needs to be. And me being a bulky player, people automatically think that I'm just trying to make it a super long battle, but I'm really not. I go for another Scald right here. Does a decent chunk of damage. He wakes up and goes for rest. So right now his best bet is just to go for Sleep Talk the whole time, because if he gets Shadow Ball, that's awesome. If he gets Calm Minds, that's even better for him, because that means he can take less damage from this thing, and then Clefable might not be able to knock it out with 1 Moonblast. So that's kind of what he's hoping to do. I'm going to go for a Scald right here. It's not going to do any... I mean, it does a lot more than what it did before because it's a crit, but it's still relatively, like, nothing because he can just rest off all the damage. He's going to get his Sleep Talk off, and he does get the Shadow Ball, and from this range, it will, in fact, take me out, which is really, really nice whenever you think about it, because now I just get to go into Clefable and fire off a Moonblast. I will outspeed because Clefable is faster than this thing naturally. I don't think he has any speed investment. If he does, that's really weird. Not unheard of, but it's really weird. But I do go into Clefable, get hurt by Stealth Rocks and Spikes. I was like, okay, maybe if he gets like a crit Shadow Ball here and I don't outspeed for some reason, then I lose, but it's whatever. So I do in fact get the Moonblast off. He's going to go down, and Spiritomb goes down, and we do pull out the victory 3-0. So, with that being said, I'm going to say thank you very much, Carter, for the game. I really appreciate it. It was a fantastic battle. I always love battles that don't have a lot of hacks, battles that don't have hacks that matter a whole lot, and just battles with a very good friend that turn out to be just more fun than what I expected. This battle was so amazing. Thank you so much, Carter, for the battle. You played fantastically. There was very few things I can actually say like I noticed were mistakes. I know I made a couple questionable plays, but dude, thank you so much for the battle. Real quick, I want to say thank you to Erik, Ashton. He records all of my battles all of the time for me. So thank you, Erik. You helped me out so much. I can't thank you enough. I also want to thank Ryquin because he attempted to record the battle for me, but we always have trouble getting files back and forth. And also, thank you to the entire PPL group because we all just like talk about strategies and team building and practice battles, and it's so much fun. I love being in this group. It's an awesome group of people. I'm so excited for this season, and I'm so excited to see what the Maryland Torterrapins can do for the rest of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I really hope that you guys are rooting for the Maryland Torterrapins after this 3-0 victory. We're off to a fantastic start. I'm hoping we can keep doing what we got to do. Next, we face RubyMarrow and the Glass City Gliscors. Very offensive team. Go ahead and check out his channel. All of the links will be in the description. Everybody's, Erik's, all of the PPL D2 coaches. It's fantastic. Again, the layout was made by me, so if you could show some support for that, I would really appreciate it. But I think that's about it. Please leave a like if you did enjoy. Leave a comment on what you think I could have done better, what team building I could have done better, anything. I love reading comments. Thank you all so much for the fantastic support that you guys continue to show on my channel. It just means the world to me. So, hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!